Okay, so now the mixing process commences. Now I mentioned before that it can get kind of cold because the stuff in here, half of it's frozen. So a good technique is to be by the sink, turn on warm water, have it running, so you can mix for a while and then warm up your hands. And mix for a while and then warm up your hands. I don't need to do that because I'm a big tough guy. So I just can gut it out and soldier through it. But beginners to this recipe will probably need to take breaks to warm up their hands. So I've already mixed this a little bit to save you some time because this is going to take 5 or 6 minutes to mix through this. But you know, you kind of use rotating. This is a good technique, and turn the bowl and rotate over here and turn it and rotate over there and get it mixed in, and then lift it up, fold it back down. Lift it up, fold it back down. Turn it, lift it, fold it, just like you're kneading bread. And then pretty soon it's going to get to the point where it feels like dough. And it's pretty thick, and it's all holding together. And it's yummy to goodness. Oh. So, when it starts to look uniform, and there's no dark chunks and light chunks of meat, then you know that everything is pretty well mixed in together, and you're good to go. And then you can start rolling it up and putting it on the cookie sheet to make the meatballs. And the other thing to keep in mind, this video didn't take long to watch. It does take a while to make this recipe, but as you do it, it's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. I've got it down to about 30 minutes now as far as the prep time goes. So really not a big time commitment, and that holds me over for 2 or 3 days worth of meatballs. So you divide that out 2 or 3 days, and that's not a whole lot of cooking. So it does get quicker, and it does get easier. And then, so before you make your meatballs, preheat your oven. I just turn mine on, 375. And I like to make my meatballs about the size of like a golf ball. So, just a quick little formation here going on. And you're just setting it down on the cookie sheet. And plopping as you go. You'll get faster at this part too. All the parts get faster and faster the more you make this recipe. Also, when you're making smaller size meatballs, you can fit actually more on the cookie sheet, and they cook a little bit faster. It's the big ones that take a while. So these will cook in about 45 minutes. Bigger meatballs will take maybe an hour. It's okay to leave them in an hour even if they're small. Better be overcooked than undercooked. But remember, with grass-fed beef, your chances of foodborne illness is drastically reduced. Because for one thing, the beef is healthier. For another thing, the farming practices are cleaner. And for a third thing, the pH in the stomach of the cows is such that E. coli can't grow. So it's much safer meat to go with the grass-fed beef. So there's a lot of reasons to go grass-fed beef over other forms of beef, including organic. Now a lot of times you can find grass-fed organic, but the reason that a lot of grass-fed doesn't get the organic seal is because they use fertilizer on their grass, but the fertilizer that they use is fine. It's, you know, nitrogen. So the grass-fed beef farmers are not going to go to all that trouble of having, because it is hard. It's a big commitment to have grass-fed cows. They're not going to go to all that trouble and then poison their cows with, or poison their meat with bad fertilizer. So grass-fed farmers are very committed to healthy meat, so you can trust them. And even if it doesn't say organic, it's still going to be better than organic for your body, because the grass-fed beef has the high amounts of CLA, the conjugated linoleic acid, and this acid is a fatty acid and it helps burn fat off your body. There are bodybuilders that take CLA supplements and to burn fat off. So they're actually taking fat to lose fat. But the problem with CLA supplements is they don't have the right ratios and they're not natural and they're not in the right balance like it is with grass-fed beef. So I do not recommend CLA supplements. I recommend CLA wholeheartedly, but only through grass-fed animals. Now there's other grass-fed animals too. It doesn't have to be just beef. So all the other grass-fed animals share this same advantage of high concentrations of CLA. So it's all good. Just remember, if you're eating red meat, it's got to be grass-fed. If you're eating fish, it's got to be wild. And if you're eating white meat, then it should be organic and free range. So we're almost done here, and to save you some time, I'm going to put the camera on pause and then come back to it when I've got all the meatballs formed and ready to stick in the oven. Oh, preheat's done. It's ready to go, but I got another cookie sheet to fill up because I've got 7 pounds of beef here. So if I were just to make the normal 4-pound recipe, it would fit on one cookie sheet. But because I've got extra on there, I'm going to use 2 cookie sheets. So see you in a sec.